The Imitation of Christ, Book 1, Chapters 8, 9, and 10. Book 1, Chapter 8, On Avoiding Too Much Familiarity. Do not open your heart to everyone, but only to the one who is wise, God-fearing, and who can keep your confidence. Spend little time in the company of young people or with the inexperienced. Do not flatter the rich or seek to be in the presence of the great without good reason. Rather, associate yourself with those who are humble and have simplicity, who are devout and self-disciplined, talking with them about those things that will edify and strengthen the soul. Do not be familiar with the opposite sex, but commend to God those who are good. Desire to be on intimate terms with God and his angels, but shun the acquaintance of people as much as you can. Have charity for all, but familiarity is unwise. Sometimes it happens that we know someone only by fame, but when we meet that person, we are often disappointed. And sometimes we think we please others by our presence, when in reality they come to dislike us because of the faults they see in us. Book 1, Chapter 9, on being obedient and submissive. To be obedient, to live under a superior, not seeking your own way, is a great virtue. It is safer to obey orders than to give them. Many obey more out of necessity than for charity's sake. These find it burdensome and complain easily, but they will never have liberty of spirit until they submit wholly to authority for the love of God. Go where you will, but you will never find rest except in humble obedience to the rule of your superior. Many are deceived by thinking that a change of location will solve their difficulties. In reality, all of us are inclined to do our own will and agree more readily with those who hold with our views. But if we want to have the presence of God among us, then we must be willing to give up our own way in order to live in love and harmony with others. Surely there are no persons so wise that they know everything. Therefore, listen to the opinions of others and do not trust too much in your own point of view. Perhaps you are right, but by setting aside your own will and following another out of love for God, you will profit by it. I have often heard it is said that it is surer to take advice than to give it. It is good to listen to every person's advice, but when it is sound, to disagree is sheer stubbornness. Book 1, Chapter 10, on avoiding superfluous words. Flee as much as possible the company of worldly people. For discussing worldly matters, no matter how good the intention, is a great obstacle to the spiritual life. If we are not careful, we can easily be deceived and attracted by the vanity of the world. Often I regret the things I have said and wish that I had not spent so much time in worldly company. We think that by getting together with others, we will be a comfort to one another and find relaxation by discussing the things that burden us. But the end result of all this gossip about things we like or dislike only leaves us with a guilty conscience. But the sad part of it is that all we say and do is for nothing. For the comfort we received from others hinders us from receiving the comfort that comes from God. It is better to watch and pray that we do not waste time in idleness. If you have leave to speak and it is expedient, then speak of God and of those things which will edify. A bad use or neglect of our spiritual progress makes us careless of what we say. However, devout conversation on spiritual matters is beneficial to the soul, especially when people who are congenial in mind and spirit are drawn together in God.